Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for a living, where you live, family, pets, and don't forget the ever important, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Kris. What a great day this has been. Let's hear it again for everybody who's presented so far. I'm Dr. Eric Johnson. I'm a professor at the School of Medicine and Health Sciences and a physician at Altru. Here I'm just representing myself today, not my particular organizations. I'm married. I have 4 kids who are all more or less adults, and I have 2 grandchildren. What do I like to do for fun? Spend time with my grandchildren. I love baseball, and I love music, so a lot of my fun revolves around that.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. We're going to get right into it. You mentioned that you are a doctor, and that's part of your story, is that you were in active addiction.
Yes.
As a practicing doctor. And I appreciate you coming up here because, as we know, addiction does not discriminate. It doesn't matter how successful you are. Like, you can fall into that. So I wonder if you could share with us what that was like being in practice, dealing with addiction, and then kind of lead into what resources were available for you in those early days.
Sure. I started using when I was about 11, so I had a really long history before I even got to medical school. And after I'd been out of school for about a year, I was doing my internship here in Grand Forks. And it was March 12th, 1990. I got up, I took a drink like I usually did before I went to work. On this particular day, I was assigned to the labor and delivery ward. And I got up to the hospital and I just had a complete, total emotional meltdown. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it happened. I had an emergency psych evaluation, and I was scheduled for an intake to go to treatment several days later, actually on St. Patrick's Day of all days, 1990.
We were just talking earlier to someone about we know a few people in recovery with St. Patrick's Day recovery days.
Yeah.
So in terms of resources as a doctor and the stigma, like, can you speak into that, like how that felt?
Sure. I mean, 30 years ago, there were not a lot of resources for healthcare professionals. It was something that everybody tried to keep undercover. We all knew who the alcoholics and addicts were, but there was just no place to put them or anywhere to, any really services for them. About that time, I got involved with, I was assigned to 2 doctors who were in recovery, and they were just going to start a support group for physicians in recovery. So I got to be part of that right at the beginning 30 years ago. And that meeting is actually still going today. And we have a lot more resources now. North Dakota and many other states have something called the Physicians Health Program. And you can enter that voluntarily and not have any adverse consequences to your licensure unless you don't follow the program they set for you.
That's amazing, Eric. I think it's important that we focus on similarities, not the differences when it comes to recovery, but there's also something important about having relatability and people. I mean, there's unique circumstances in the medical field, so I think it's important to have people to be able to speak to. What advice would you give to people in your field who may be struggling with substance use disorder, some sort of addiction? What would you say to those folks?
Yeah, if you know somebody in your profession, like medicine or nursing, who's in recovery, I would definitely talk to them because they probably know where the resources are. But check with your own state. Many of these things are called something like Physicians Health Program or PHP, and there's really no consequences for reaching out voluntarily and doing that. And these are outstanding resources, and that is definitely true in North Dakota.
Yeah, and thank you for your willingness to come up and share a part of your story. I think giving others a voice, there's going to be folks out there who are going to hear what you've shared, and that's going to give them hope, inspire them to be able to make that change for themselves as well.
Yeah, and I don't think of myself as something special or different just because I'm a physician. Yeah. I mean, in many ways, I'm just a guy with an addiction disorder who finally got help at age 29. And you can tell by looking at me, I'm not 29 now. So that's been a little while ago.
None of us are 29. Well, somebody might be. Whatever that means. Eric, last, What's a positive in recovery? What's a positive that's happened as a result of recovery in your life that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Yeah, I mean, I had many negatives. I had 2 failed marriages. I have a child with a lot of medical problems. But where I'm at today, I'm married. I have a wonderful spouse. We have a wonderful relationship. I'm involved in the lives of my children. I'm involved in the lives of my grandchildren. I'm involved with my own family of origin. My parents and I have 3 sisters. And there was a time in my life where they didn't want to talk to me or see me. And now they're always happy to see me and see that I'm doing okay.
That connection with family is amazing.
Yeah.
Recovery Reinvented, let's give it up for Eric. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you.